Right, really short video to remind you how to factorise a simple quadratic. And in order to do that, we're going to start by reminding ourselves what a quadratic equation is. So a quadratic equation is any equation which has x squared in it as its highest power. So, for example, 3x squared plus 2x plus 1 would be a quadratic equation because x squared is its highest power. 2x squared plus 7 would also be a quadratic equation, as would x squared minus 7x. All have x squared in as their highest power, so they are all quadratic. We are looking at how to factorise and solve easier ones, and the easier ones we're going to look at are just going to have an x squared rather than a number in front of the x squared. So let's get started with x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Simple quadratics, just one x squared. And in order to help us to factorise it to start with, we need to look for two numbers. They need to multiply to make this coefficient on the end, so they've got to multiply to make 6, and they have to add to make this coefficient or number in the middle, which is 5. So two numbers, multiply to make 6, add to make 5. Hoping you can all work out that that is 2 and 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, 2 times 3 is 6. Really straightforward, these go straight into the brackets to factorise, so we want it to be positive 2, positive 3, and that's our factorised form of the equation. If we were to multiply these out, we should get this equation back out again. So that's factorised. Now we just need to solve it. We do this in 2 steps because we're looking for 2 solutions to a quadratic equation. Look at the brackets individually. If I want x plus 3 to be 0, what value of x do I want for that? Well, x would have to be minus 3, because minus 3 plus 3 equals 0. Similarly, for the other bracket, x plus 2, we want to equal 0, so x will have to equal minus 2. So this is our factorised form, and these are our solutions. So our final answer would be x equals minus 2 and x equals minus 3. That's our first example. Let's try one that's slightly different, but not much different. So example number 2. X squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So difference here. We've got a minus 5 instead of a positive 5. Exactly the same method, 2 numbers times to make this end one, which is 6, but add to make minus 5 this time. Be careful, we want to add to make a negative number, but multiply to make a positive number. We can only add negative numbers to make negative answers, but if we want the multiplier to be positive, we must be looking for 2 negative numbers. A negative multiplied by a negative will make it positive. So this time, instead of wanting numbers 2 and 3, we'll want the numbers minus 2 and minus 3. They will add to make minus 5, but multiply to make positive 6. Our brackets this time then are x minus 2, x minus 3 equals 0. That's our factorised form. Solving in the same way as before, cover up one of the brackets. We want x minus 3 to be 0 for one of our solutions, so x would be positive 3 this time, and x minus 2 equals 0, so x be positive 2 for the left-hand bracket. So our answer, our solutions, are x equals 3 and x equals 2. Okay, final example. Slightly different again. X squared minus 4x minus 12 equals 0. 2 negatives this time. So 2 numbers have to multiply to make a negative number. This should hopefully make you realise that you're going to need one positive and one negative number, because a positive multiplied by a negative will give you a negative. So two numbers that multiply to make minus 12, but add to make minus 4. Think about the factors of 12. The ones that will add to make minus 4 will be minus 6 and positive 2. Minus 6 plus 2 is minus 4. 2 lots of minus 6 is minus 12. These are the values that go in our brackets. X minus 6, x plus 2. That's our factorised form. So our solutions come, again, for covering in one up at a time. X plus 2 equals 0, so x equals minus 2. And x minus 6 equals 0, so x equals positive 6. So our solutions, x equals minus 2 and x equals 6. So you should now be able to get on with the work that I've set for this lesson. Good luck.